What's up, guys? This is Ryan Johnson with MoneyBass.com. Today, we are going to get into it, guys. I know a lot of you guys have been coming to my channel to get that information on the Humminbird Mega system. So today, we are going to get into the installation of the power switch. A lot of you guys have hit me up on my Instagram. Actually, let me go ahead and put that down in the bottom. Just take a look down at the bottom. That's scrolling down there now. Join my Instagram. It's new at official money bass. That's once again, that is at official money bass. So you see that down there at the bottom. But today, like I said, we're going to get into the installation of the power switch. And that power switch is something that guys are asking, do you need it? Do you not need it? It says you need it in the manual, guys. So make sure you get that installed. Let me just bring up a few pictures real quick of the power switch that I decided to install and a quick picture of how it looks after the installation. Then I will get into just a little bit of information from the manual real quick, and then show you the video of my installation. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so those were just a few quick pictures of the type of switch that I'm using. Make sure you check out the description. I will put links in the description for that power switch that I am using. And if there's any discounts or anything available like that, you will be able to access that through the description also, guys. So you do not have to use the same switch that I'm using. There's a lot of different ones out there, but for me, this one fit the design of the switch that was already installed and came with my boat. So, hey, it was just natural that I went ahead and went with that. But this also does have other options for different colors. So if you wanted to change it up a little bit and install something that matches your boat, this might be something that you want to check out. All right. So what I wanted to get into real quick was the manual, guys. Let's see if you can see that right there. So this is something that a lot of you guys, I know you still have not taken the time to read it. So I will just pull out a little bit of information real quick that will answer some questions just in case you guys did not read it. But basically, and I'm looking on page 19 of the installation manual. It says, warning, the Mega Live imaging transducer should be connected to a main switch, fuse panel, or battery switch. Humminbird does not recommend connecting to a battery without a fuse switch. So you definitely want to have that fuse, guys, so you do not run the risk of messing up your transducer or having some type of power overage or something like that that can damage it. Another part in here on that same page, let's see, talks about the voltage amounts and requirements for it. And let me see. Okay, there it says Humminbird is not responsible for over voltage or over current failures. So you definitely want to make sure you have that fuse. And okay, so section 8A, main switch fuse panel. If a fuse terminal is available, use crimp on type electrical connectors that are not included that match the terminal and fuse panel. Attach the black ground wire to the, let's see, to the negative, the red wire to positive, 12-volt power, and the drain slash shield wire should, let me see, be connected to the boat chassis ground terminal. Install a 2-amp fuse. So make sure you get that 2-amp fuse in here. And let's see, there was one other part on here that I wanted to get to real quick, guys. Let me see. If you are unable to obtain a battery switch, so that is what we're talking about today, guys, a switch that is dedicated directly for your Mega Live system. If you are unable to obtain a battery switch and are forced to connect the power cable directly to the battery, be aware that this will drain the battery. Humminbird does not recommend connecting to a battery without the appropriate fuse and a switch. So that is definitely something that is needed. All right, guys. Then there's also something on page 35 in the manual, guys. Make sure you check that out. But for now, let's go ahead and get into this video. If you see something in there you got that you like, guys, make sure you hit the go down into the description, hit the link in there. It will take you to the link that allow you to buy the same fuse that I mean, not fuse, but the same switch, the same power switch that I used. All right, guys, I really appreciate you supporting the channel. Let's go ahead and get into this. Hit the like button on your way in, and hope you guys enjoy this video. All right, this is the power that goes directly to this Mega Live up here. And I'm going to run the positive and the negative to the leads that they need to go to on this switch. This blue is going to be the power that comes from the fuse panel. It is now time to test out the button. I have already connected that. All of these wires back here are connected. I just have one more connection to make, but before I do that, I want to go ahead and test it just to make sure everything is working. So when I press this button, it does light up. And from here, I'm just waiting for this Mega Live right here to show as connected. So it may take a few minutes for that to connect. All right, there we go. That took 1 minute and 20 seconds for it to go ahead and connect. So there we go. We see the connection right there on the Mega Live, and the switch is on. One other thing I want to do is go to I have my Mega Live set up on the shortcut number 1, and just go up here and just see if I can see any movement on here. So let's see, the Mega Live is out of water. So what I can do is just wet my finger and put that on the connection up here. And so that is the wet switch, and that will allow the system to actually connect, and there should be some movement. There we go. Let's see if we can get that in focus. So now I just want to see some movement on that screen, and there we go. It's kind of hard to see on the video, but there is movement, and you can see that purple flash on there. That's my persistence mode. So that's showing that the Mega Live is working. So we're good to go. From here, all I have to do, guys, is go ahead and complete this last connection. I'm going to seal that up. So I'm going to solder this, put some silicone on there to seal it, and then I'll put some heat shrink on top of that, heat that down, let that silicone come out of there so I'll get a good seal on that, and then put all of this stuff, it's not really that much, but put everything back together, put everything, put my other unit back on, get on the water and test it out. But there you go, guys. That is how you connect your switch for that Mega Live system. Now I am about to do a little cleanup and just take a look, make sure everything is lined up. You can see all the little chips and flakes and things like that. So I want to keep this vacuum. You want to keep this fiberglass and stuff cleaned up because you don't want to breathe that in. Make sure you have your mask on whenever you're doing anything with this fiberglass because you definitely don't want to breathe that in. So I was able to get this cut out. And guys, something that I thought was going to be a nice, quick, simple project ended up being a little bit more than what I had planned. I did not realize that this basically has 2 layers to it, and this is what comes on the boat. So you can see this layer down here, that is actually aluminum. This top layer is plastic, so it's pretty easy to get through that. This bottom layer was metal. Let me just show you what this looks like on the other side of it real quick. Okay, so if you look right there, you can see that metal shavings, and that is how mine looks underneath. I sealed that up with silicone and everything to make sure I get that nice and sealed. But what I had to do on this fiberglass was cut into here because this panel right here lines up with this little channel right there. If you can see that channel. But because this is right at the top of that channel right there, I had to cut that out. And it wasn't as bad as what I thought it would be. I just used a drill bit, drilled a hole straight down, and just kind of etched my way around there with a drill bit. And I was able to do that. Maybe it took about 20 minutes to get that completed. But now I have the button mounted in here. That was the toughest part, getting that drilled through this and getting it to fit right in this area where I want it to go. And like I said, it wasn't lined up completely with that. So now this was the next issue that I ran into. See if I can get a better view of that for you. But there you go. So that may be about an inch wide or so. and then that'll give you another angle of it. But that is just something to keep in mind, guys. You want to know what is going to be behind the area where you will be installing this switch. All right, there you go. In and out, works pretty easy. All right, so now I need to go ahead and do a little cleanup, and then I will wire it and keep on moving.